Yes, people. Welcome back to another stream, man. Big up for everyone coming. Sorry about the slight delay there, guys. We had a bit of an issue. John's ill, so we couldn't use the normal system. So back on this one. So big up to everyone that's come over from the now gone into the ether. It no longer exists stream. Big up to All Pissed Up as well for becoming a YouTube channel member. Thank you for the support, mate. And anyone else wants to join All Pissed Up, link is in the description. But we're going to be talking about the press conference ahead of tomorrow's huge game. And I'm a little bit frustrated with what's gone on with the press conference. And I'll tell you why in just a second. But before we do, guys, make sure you drop a like on the stream. Subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. Yes, so how you doing, though, bro? You good?
I'm good, man. The nerves are starting to kick in. I just checked in for my flight over to Manchester tomorrow, so they're starting to hit now. The severity of the game is starting to resonate with me, but I've not seen any of the press conference quotes. I like to keep my mind fresh for these press conference streams, so I'm interested to see what the gaffer's been saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, the gaffer has been speaking. The gaffer has been talking. So let me get into it. Where are we? So Pep Guardiola on Arsenal, he says, it's really good to be here. It's a really important game because we can get points and they focus on what they have to do. We've played 2 times this season and in the past as well. They have both been really tight games and really difficult. It's really important, not decisive. A lot of tough games for both sides, but we can't deny how important it is. Obviously, a massive game. Big up to lads as well who's joined us on the stream. Guys, is this a do or die game? If we City win, is the league over? If City loses, the league over? Where are we at, Hugh? What are you saying?
No, not at all. Absolutely not at all. I mean, it would be a massive blow for either team to lose the game, but we know the position we're in because of the recent form of Arsenal. That I said this in the Big Six last night, and the rest of the lads couldn't understand it. A draw, it's not what I want. I'll make that clear. I want to win, but a draw is not a disaster for Manchester City. We're still very much in the driver's seat in that situation. It's potentially closer to do or die for Arsenal. If they lose tomorrow, Is that then finally put to the sword? Is that one of the final nails in the coffin? I don't think it's do or die, but it's definitely a massive psychological boost or blow for the winner / loser.
Yeah, no, yeah, lads, thank you for joining, bro. What
Yeah.
are you saying? Are you City win? Is it over? If Arsenal win, is it over? Where are you at with this?
Well, based off what both managers say, they both seem they're both putting the impression across that they're happy they're not happy, but if they do lose the game, they're still in it. I think if Arsenal lose the game, they're 99% gone. I think if City lose the game, we're not entirely gone, but I think it's definitely a big blow. Before they dropped any points, you were looking at this saying if City had lost, it was game over. But now, after all those points they dropped, it's almost the other way around. I think if Arsenal lose, psychologically and mathematically, they're in big trouble.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I think if City win the game tomorrow, I don't know if the champagne comes out, but maybe the prosecco comes out. I don't know, man. I just feel that, honestly,
beers for now, LB. Beers for now.
Just beers. I just feel like with the games that they've coming up as well, I think if City win tomorrow, I would be surprised if Arsenal go to Chelsea, Newcastle, and Brighton, who are their next 3 games, and win all 3. And if City win tomorrow, I'd also be surprised if City didn't beat Fulham, West Ham, and Leeds all in a row. So in my view, City win tomorrow, maybe not that game wins it for us, but I think the 3 following games, I think that's where it becomes done. And just like you both sort of said, if Arsenal win tomorrow, whilst I think that they really should go on and win the league, I think we're going to win our next 3 games anyway. Because remember, them 3 games are before Real Madrid anyway. So people talk about Real Madrid. Well, them 3 games are before Real Madrid anyway. And they play Newcastle, Brighton, and Chelsea. I still would back, hopefully, that one of them teams could do something. Because remember, because we've got the superior goal difference, I'm right in saying that a draw would be enough in one of them for Arsenal, and City would be straight back in there. So I agree with both of you. If City win, I think for me it's nearly done. 99% is the figure that lads gave. But if Arsenal win, which I don't think they will personally, but if they do, I'm not going to be giving up. I'll be gutted. It'll be a massive blow, but I still believe that Newcastle could do us a favour, right? And even Frank Lampard, Frank Lampard will do everything he possibly can to try and get Chelsea to get something out of the game as well.
What a win for us would do tomorrow, for me anyway, in my own head, is I think we'd wrap it up before the final day. Because I'm super, super convinced that Newcastle, exactly what you said, Newcastle, Brighton, or Chelsea will take something. I genuinely fancy Newcastle to beat Arsenal. If we beat them Wednesday, I fancy Newcastle with the way they're purring right now and the confidence oozing through their team and, Champions League football within arm's length away from them now. I fancy them to put Arsenal to the sword. So they lose to us and lose to Newcastle. If that should happen, I believe it's wrapped up before the last day of the season. But if it's a draw or an Arsenal win, I think it could then go right to the wire.
Yeah, no, I agree. Big up to Bliss, by the way, also becoming an Xtra Club member. Thanks for supporting the channel. Appreciate the support. Let's go through some more of the comments. In fact, I can bring some of these comments up on screen as well, so people can just have a little bit of a different view. Pep Guardiola, very, very obviously praising Arsenal a lot. He says Arsenal always have incredible details and care with the ball. The players they select are of the biggest qualities. Mikel brings different dimension, so aggressive. In the 2 games we've played this season, we felt it, and you have to challenge them on these terms. The quality they have in the build-up, on the second balls, it's difficult. Where do we think this game is going to be won and lost, lads? If you had to say, what's the main battle? What's going to win us the game? Is it, because I believe, and I know this is a bit of a shit answer, but I'm just going to say it because I think it's true. I think if Kevin De Bruyne and Haaland turn up tomorrow, and by turn up, what I mean is, they turn up and they're ready for it. And they're, sometimes with Kevin De Bruyne, when he's like, he wants it. I think if he turns up tomorrow and Haaland has his shooting boots on, which 9 times out of 10 he does, probably 9.9 times out of 10 he does, that's it for me. That's how confident I am in them, because I know the defence will do us a pretty solid job. I'm not saying Arsenal can't score, probably can score too, but if Kevin De Bruyne and Haaland turn up, these guys, especially against Rob Holding, these guys could get 2 or 3 goals. You seen anything different, any more sort of nuanced view, or is it just that simple? Kevin De Bruyne and Haaland, lads, what are you saying?
Yeah, I think the key players are a big thing, but I think the mistakes as well. You look at that first game against Arsenal, and they make a mistake. I think it was Tomiyasu gave the ball to De Bruyne. We scored the opening goal. It was a great finish, but again, it's come from a mistake. And then their first goal, the penalty, Ederson's just took someone out. and it's a mistake really, and that's 1-1. So I think in these big games, it's all about the fine margins. It's about these big players turning up and producing a bit of quality. But it's also, if you make a big mistake in a game like this, it's going to cost you. If you make a mistake against somebody a bit lower down the table, you might get away with it. I remember we played Southampton and one of their players, I think it was Mara maybe, ended up in on goal and we were able to recover it. He didn't really have the quality to score. I think Ake got there. But against a team like Arsenal, if you make a mistake, they're probably going to punish you. So I think it's the mistakes for me that are the key area.
Yeah. Hugh, what are you saying?
Yeah, I think the big ones to look at are obviously Haaland versus Holding or Gabriel, whichever one decides to stick closer to Haaland. You'd have to fancy Haaland, you really would. I think the next big one, of course, is De Bruyne versus whoever man marks him. I think they will put a man on De Bruyne and tell that player to follow De Bruyne around the pitch. I've seen this morning that is a bit doubting for Arsenal. Not sure if he's going to play, so that'd be a big blow for them because he's someone that they would ideally like to put on De Bruyne. I suppose our left-hand side in defence, if it's to be Laporte, obviously he's not played a huge amount of football this season. I would have felt that bit more confident in Nathan Ake taking on Saka, who had a decent game against Southampton. He definitely improved on their West Ham and Liverpool performances. So it's really fine margins. It's really fine margins about your big player standing up. I think Rodri getting a rest as well on the weekend is absolutely huge. We need him to be a general in the middle of the park, both going forward as well as in defense. I think him getting the whole week off now is absolutely huge because, you know, he's the kind of player who needs to play 90 minutes. So, man, really fine margins, I think, yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. Let's have a look at some more of these comments then. Pep Guardiola was asked about Zinchenko and Jesus to Arsenal. He said the club made the decisions they believe. Everyone agreed. The players wanted to leave. The club wanted to sell, and the club wanted to buy. They're happy. We're happy. No regrets.
I've seen people saying on Twitter, Albie, that people asking should we clap or boo Zinchenko and Jesus. I think that's such a stupid question. You absolutely clap these guys. No bad. There's no reason to boo these guys on the pitch. Obviously, we hope to beat them. We hope they have an off day. But there's no reason to disrespect these guys. We let them go. They wanted to go. There was no bad blood. You know, there was no forcing their way out. So I think it's a silly conversation. I don't know what you guys think.
I mean, I completely agree. If I was there, obviously I'm a plastic now, so I don't go. But if I was there, given the scale of the game, I probably just wouldn't do anything. But I certainly I certainly wouldn't be booing two players who give their all, 100% work rate. I think, honestly, anyone that boos, I mean, you pay your money, you do what you want, but if someone was sat next to me and was booing, I'd just be like, what the fuck are you doing? But me personally, if I was there back in the day, I would just, I just wouldn't do anything. Because of the, I don't want to, for me, I'm not clapping a guy who could end our title hopes. You know what I'm saying? That's just me personally, but I certainly wouldn't be booing him. That's what you do. Are you booing him?
Yeah, I'm not doing anything. I'm just gonna, you know, at the end of the game, or if we go ahead, I'm happy to clap all day. But I don't think clapping somebody in such a big game at the start, I don't think it sets the right precedent really to start like. Obviously, as you said, they're giving their all for the club. But it's not. I don't think it's a right thing. You know, their name maybe before the game. You know, the name gets read out before the players come out. People might have a bit of a brief clap or cheer. But I think when the players actually come over, I think maybe clapping or cheering them. I seem to remember in the game, the FA Cup game. I don't think Jesus was fit, but Zinchenko. I think he got a few claps here and there at the end. But during the game, I don't think there was any clapping or cheering for him because I just don't think it sets the right precedent, as I said.
I'm not saying give them a guard of honor. I'm just saying definitely don't give them a bad reception. I'm not give them a massive welcome back to the Eddie, welcome home kind of thing. It's just if their name is read out, quick clap, nothing major. But you know, I think the booing's a bit excessive if people think that's the way to go about it.
Yeah, no, not for me. Big up to Mohammed, by the way, with the super chat. It says, do you think Pep changes tactics because of no Ake? Well, of course, we don't know what's going on with Ake because I don't know why, but for some reason that question, I mean, maybe it'll come out in the embargo, but I thought that would be the first question that would have been asked given how crucial he is to the team. But I mean, probably not. I just think he'll probably like for like replace him with Laporte, in my opinion, which could be dangerous. Lord of Trexia says, sports journals are a joke. Rather than ask Pep for the 1000th time if Haaland impresses him, or if he has Arteta on Snapchat instead of Ake's injury. Well, like I say, maybe they wanted to save it for the embargo. I don't know. I don't know how it works. You know, not in that field. But yeah, if I was a journalist, me personally, I would have asked the question. That would have been my first question. But maybe this, I don't know, maybe something when you're a journalist, you don't do that. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Do you know why it might not been asked, lads?
Yeah, I just think if you're a journalist, you don't want to be the guy that like wastes his question on the thing everyone wants to know. I don't know about that, but that's what I'd think. I think everyone wants to kind of, you want to get the spicy thing out of Pep, where you're the guy that kind of got him to say something or whatever. So I think maybe the more obvious questions sometimes don't get asked straight away, unless they're from like the BBC or something. But I mean, that's just my opinion. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Big up to Zach, by the way, with a 3-month membership. It says, we've beaten them twice already this season. I'm extremely confident that we'll win and Laporte will turn up. Mark my words. But it's going to be a big game for Laporte if he does start. Let's go back to the comments because there's still some more to go through. Pep Guardiola on Haaland. He says, I've said many times he's exceptional. We've been very impressed with how he's behaved, his mood and his love for Manchester City. Exceptional. I don't know how Arsenal stop him. I didn't speak to Arteta, which is pretty obvious. He then said on his friendship with Arteta, nothing changes what I think about him. He lives in London. I live here, so we speak less. We're rivals right now. That happens, but nothing has changed. It's not the first time in sports history. I was a football player. I had friends in other teams. You want to win, but in the end, the relationship remains. He says on Manchester City versus Arsenal, it's not going to be a game where one team has 65, 70 possession. It's just not going to happen. He says, I'm a trainer, not a manager. I feel Arteta has changed the structure of the club at Arsenal. It used to be a top 6, but now it's going to be a top 8, competing for the top because Newcastle are in there now. Talking about, obviously, the Premier League. Do you think that maybe, because we've had this sort of master versus apprentice. Obviously, Arsenal in the position where it's sort of a must win. Do you reckon, how do you reckon Arteta's approaching this game? Because, of course, he knows maybe what Pep might be doing. He's been in that situation before with him. How do you feel that Arteta's going to approach the game? Do you think he's going to go for it from the off? Do you think he's going to try and get his team to stick in there for the last 20 minutes and then go for it? Because they kind of have to win, really. You know what I mean? I know they don't. I know they don't have to win, but they kind of do have to win. You know what I mean? If you're Arsenal, you know that if you don't win tomorrow, it's not 100%, 99% again is what you said, lads. How do you think Arteta is going to settle the team, Hugh?
I would imagine. I think a good manager, what they would do in this situation is stick to what's been working for them all season. I think they will come out of the starting blocks, all guns blazing, firing, and try to set a precedent, try to stamp an authority in Manchester City that this won't be a walkover for us, and try to make a dogfight out of it. Try to go toe to toe. I mean, if you do look at teams that have gone toe to toe with us, even over the last 2 seasons, plenty of them have been successful, and Arsenal are probably a better team than plenty of those teams that were successful against us. So I would imagine, and that's what I would want if I was an Arsenal fan. I would want Arsenal to start fast, the same way they did against West Ham, same way they did against Liverpool, and just show a bit more composure to see it out, essentially, because they did throw those games. They absolutely bottled those games. So if they can get themselves into a position like that again, at that point, it's just them saying, let's see it out. But that's a much easier thing to do, much easier thing to say than do. But that's it, man. Come out of the starting blocks quick. I think that's what they have to do. They can't refine their game for this one fixture because that's not what's worked for them all season. They need to play what's worked for them at the best parts of their season. Doesn't matter who you're playing against. That's what I'd be saying.
Yeah, what are you saying, lads? Anything?
Yeah, well, it's a weird one. I think there's a lot. I'd say there's less pressure on Arteta compared with Pep because if City win the game, it's like a lot of people are expecting that anyway. So I think he'll stick to what he was doing. But from a City perspective, I remember Pep said after the game, the 3-1 game, he said that he tried something new in the first half and it was rubbish. So I mean, maybe he'll stick to. I mean, we won the game still, so it doesn't matter. But maybe Pep will stick to what he knows, hopefully. And I don't know whether Arteta will have more of an insight into that than we do, or whether things have changed over the last couple of years. But I think it's definitely going to be a very tactical game. These types of games always are. Like when we played Bayern, I think this game against Arsenal will be the same.
Very interesting. Bit up to Hamadness says very confident for tomorrow's game. Few of their players have injuries and we are in phenomenal form. 3-0 City. Come on, City. Yeah, and as Hugh said earlier on, Xhaka's a doubt. He's been ill, hasn't he? And Arteta said he hopes that he'll make training today, but he is a serious doubt for the game tomorrow, which I think is actually huge for them. Granit Xhaka has been so important to the way that they play. He's been a goal threat as well. can help out defensively, and is a little bit of a leader in that team. So if he's not available, that's a big loss for Arsenal, big game for City. Big up to Al with a 9 months. Says journals are a joke, asking how Pep would advise Arteta to stop Haaland. Who's going to answer that? Well, I don't know. I don't know. Let's continue with the press conference. Pep Guardiola says perfection doesn't exist in football. You cannot be perfect and win. We know what happened with Bayern Munich and what will happen in the future. Your standard has to be so high because teams demand that you'll be really good. We arrive at the end of the season, and when we lose games, we know it will be over. In September, October, we didn't have that feeling. I had the feeling at the start of the season after back-to-back titles, every game wasn't a cup final. People say when we lose the game, the first argument is physicality is not good. That is bullshit. From Pep Guardiola. And then, of course, as you can see, and this is why I'm frustrated. I just cannot believe that we've not had a question. And like I say, maybe we'll get the answer in the embargoed section. Surely to God, someone's asking him about Ake, but for me, I just thought it would have been the first question. And usually it is. I think last week it was like the first, like whatever the injury was. Normally, like we've heard about Foden. Normally the first question is about the injuries. And, if they want someone to take it for the team, you know what I mean? I'll go there and I'll ask the shit questions. You know what I mean? I'm telling you now, get me in that press conference room, and the journalists can ask their saucy questions, their spicy questions where they want to get the headlines. And I'll just ask the shit ones. What's up with Nathan Ake? Is he back? No problem. I'll take one for the team, lads. You know what I mean? I cannot believe we don't know about Nathan Ake. It's a crazy situation, man. But where are nerve levels, lads? Where are we at? Are we at 10 being terrible situation, 0 being ice cold? Luke, where you at?
I'm going to go with 7.2, but I'm sure it'll rise by tomorrow. I'm normally the day before games. It's kind of the night before games that kicks in. But yeah, I'm saying like a 7.2 currently. I was definitely at this point before the away game, I was a lot more nervous because it was almost like it was completely gone. If we lost that game against them, I think we'd have gone like 9 points behind or something. So yeah, for sure, I'm a little bit more comfortable with this one, especially with it being at home. But I'm sure a few more nerves will creep in.
Hugh, where you at?
I think I said 6 yesterday. I'm about a 6.5 now. I'm the same as Luke. When I was going to the Emirates in February, I was a lot higher, a lot higher the whole week building up to that game. But just based on their recent form, based on our recent form, based on the track record of this fixture, there's no real reason for me to be absolutely shitting it yet. But I know when I get to Manchester tomorrow, I'll feel differently. It's kind of just the title race in general. Every single game in a title, you do to feel the day of the game. But this is obviously bigger. But for now, yeah, I'm 6.
Fairs. Yeah, I'm pretty calm. I'm probably like a 4 right now. But I'm it's scaring me a little bit because I'm getting very confident that we'll beat them. You know what I mean? And I don't like that because I don't want the players to think that either. I want the players to be taking them serious, you know what I mean? Be really respectful of them. Whereas I'm like, honestly, I just feel that we could do them, man. We could do them tomorrow.
If I said to you now the score's 1-1 on 80 minutes, are you happy with that or not?
Well, this is an interesting question because Hugh said last night he would take a draw at the Big Six, and they started getting into him. I think a draw is a good result for City. A draw takes it out of Arsenal's hands and only into Manchester City's hands. Right now, it's in both of our hands. Right, it's in Arsenal's hands. It's in Manchester City's hands. A draw tonight is no longer in Arsenal's hands. It's only in Manchester City's hands. So, Blue says we can't afford a draw. We can afford a draw. A draw tonight. Yeah. It takes it out of Arsenal's hands. It takes it fully into our hands. It's then on us. Now, I don't want to draw. I think I want to win, and I think we will win the game. But I don't understand why people are saying a draw would be a bad result. A draw literally takes it out of Arsenal's hands and puts it in Manchester City's hands only. How is that a bad result? With what, 5 games to go for Arsenal, I think they'll have? They'll be on 33 games, right? Yeah, so they'll have 5 games to go and it's not in their hands. If you would have said at the start of the season, right, your main competitor is going to be Arsenal, and with 5 games left, it's not going to be in their hands. It's in your hands. I'm sorry, you are taking that every single day.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
So, like I say, I think we'll win the game. I want to win the game, but if we get a draw, how that's being seen by some people as a bad result when it takes it out of their hands and puts it solely into our hands. I think that's incredible how people can come to that conclusion.
Yeah, the way I see it, I don't see them scoring more than one goal. And I think that we're definitely going to score at least one goal. Like, I don't think there's a world where we don't score in the game tomorrow. Unless we got a red card after 2 minutes or something. But yeah, I don't see a world where we lose the game, to be fair. So a draw, it's not the worst. It probably, I wouldn't take it now. If you offered me a draw now, I wouldn't take it because I think we can win the game. But it's not an awful result.
It'd be a little bit disappointing because it's a massive opportunity to put Arsenal to the sword, but you take it. You'd walk away and you wouldn't have your head in your hands. But it would be a little bit disappointing based on the quality of both teams and the form both teams are in.
Yeah.
Go on. Yeah, sorry, just quickly. I've seen some people in the chat saying, but it'd have to be perfect for the rest of the season. So would Arsenal. And they've got the harder fixtures. They've got to go to St James's Park. They've got to play Brighton as well. They've got to play Frank Lampard's Chelsea, who people laugh at. But I'm telling you now, Frank Lampard will be doing everything possible to get at least a draw out of that game. He will be desperate to ruin the party for Arsenal. So, you can't just look at City and go, but we'd have to be perfect. So would Arsenal. So, like I said, I'm with lads. I wouldn't take a draw. Because I think we will win and I think we can win the game. But if we get a draw, how people can come away from that and think that's a bad result, I'm stunned, man. Sorry, Luke, what was you saying?
I was just going to say, I said it the other day, roughly this point last season, we had the same thing. Liverpool at home, all games squared. We were basically a point ahead of them and we had them at home. And we drew 2-2. And obviously we won the league, so it doesn't really matter now. But at the time, it was one of them where you thought we could have finished them off. We could have gone 4 ahead with a few games left. And it feels like the same kind of game. But this one just feels a tiny bit more winnable than that one last year. Against Liverpool, I just feel like they were almost like a better side. You couldn't really see them dropping points. I know they drew a game to Spurs in the end, and then we drew to West Ham. But I just think if we can beat Arsenal tomorrow, it's pretty much done.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we will win.
I just say, comment in the chat from Lazuli says, I was disappointed when you said you take it on the Big Six last night. I think I just phrased it poorly. It was off the back of Turkish saying that he would take a draw. I was saying that a draw wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for us. It's not me saying I would accept a draw or I'd be buzzing with a draw. It's just off the back of what he was saying that it would be a fine result for us. It's exactly what LB says. It puts it entirely in our hands and not in Arsenal's at all. So I probably just phrased it poorly last night.
Yeah. No, I knew what you meant. Because it's in retrospect. If we come away tomorrow with the point, and someone said check the maths, I don't need to check the maths. The maths is right, innit? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I got a C. I got a GCSE C. Don't come at me, man. You know what I'm saying? I passed my GCSEs, bro. You know what I mean? It's one of the, like I say, I think we all agree on this panel that we want to win. I think we're all backing us to win. I think we will win. But if we get a point, it's disappointing because like Lad says, if we win, it's all but done. But they have to go to St James's Park. They have to play Brighton. They have to win all their games. You know what I mean? And then the pressure's on them again, and they have to hope that we and our 3 games after Arsenal are Fulham. They're on the beaches. That should be a dub. I know they've won the last 2 games, but apparently they were really shit against Leeds. West Ham, they're pretty much safe right now. Not properly safe, but they're pretty much there. They're not going to be fighting as much as they did against Arsenal, because like as I say, they are pretty much safe, not just quite there. And then Leeds, but Leeds is at home, so I think we'll beat Leeds. So that should be 3 wins out of 3. I don't say should, but it should be 3 wins out of 3. So let's have a look at some of these super chats that have come in. Big up to Mohammed, says draw means we have to be perfect for the rest of the season. Only if Arsenal are perfect for the rest of the season, no. Do you know what I mean? Big up to Dammy, says I think we have a great advantage by not revealing Ake's injury update. This will now be a headache for Arteta. I wouldn't be surprised if Ake turns up tomorrow. Well, so you're saying, Dammy, that you maybe think that Manchester City have told the journalists not to say anything about Ake?
In the open section, maybe.
In the open section?
Maybe save it for the embargo, so Arsenal only found out at 10:30 tonight that Ake's playing. I don't know.
I mean, I don't think it's
bit of chess, man. Bit of chess. Gamesmanship.
I don't think it's the most ridiculous thing in the world. Maybe that's what's happened. I mean, it's just very strange, isn't it? So maybe that is what's happened, because it is very strange how we've not heard anything in the press conference. Because, like I say, for me, behind Erling Haaland, he's probably been our best player this season. Now, Kevin De Bruyne's making a run at that with his sort of late press, but to not ask about it, it's very strange. So yeah, maybe you're right, Dammy. Maybe it is like maybe it is something like that. I think that's pretty much it for the press conference. Let me just have a quick last scan on this. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Anything you'd want to say about it? I mean, lads, you're not on the Avengers show tonight. You said you were busy, right? So
yeah,
where you at with this game, man? What were you saying?
Yeah, again, I'd say just since the stream, you asked me then just in the stream about how nervous I am. I've gone from like a 7.2 to like a 7.4 already. It's just slowly creeping up. And yeah, it's a massive game. If we win, we could potentially be 4 points clear of the games in hand. You can't forget about them. I just think if you don't win tomorrow at home, it maybe creeps a few nerves into us. So I just think win the game. And I think it's going to be 2-0 to City.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, the fact that we could go top of the table on Sunday at 2 p.m. when we play Fulham, if we win tomorrow and beat Fulham, I mean, it's just been so long that we've been top of the league, man. I just want to see us in that number one spot.
The last time was, I'm guessing, when we beat Arsenal, yeah.
No way.
So we beat Arsenal, and then we played Forest, didn't we, like 3 days later, and drew.
Yeah.
And they beat Villa. So.
Because remember as well, they don't play till Tuesday. This is something I only realised this yesterday. They don't play this weekend. They miss a game, and then they play Tuesday, and then we play Wednesdays.
It got moved. They were going to play Chelsea on the. Again, that's a bit of a weird one. They were going to play Chelsea at the weekend.
Got moved.
Yeah,
you know what as well, right? Because everyone's been saying, like West Ham is the game in hand, but it's kind of changed now. Fulham is basically our game in hand now, because that's the game at the weekend. They play Tuesday, we play Wednesday. So it's kind of swapped it to Fulham is now basically our game in hand. So when everyone talks to me about game in hand now, I'm talking about Fulham, because that is basically the game in hand, because that's that match week. And then I see the Chelsea game and the West Ham game as another match week, in the middle of the week. So that Fulham game is going to be massive. It's kind of annoying because they've been shit for ages. And then they've won the last 2 games. To be fair, they only beat Everton and Leeds, so it's not the best teams in the league. And apparently, I didn't watch any of the games, but apparently the Fulham versus Leeds game, they weren't very good in that. They just beat Leeds, because maybe Leeds are worse. I don't know. But going there,
they've no Mitrovic either.
No Mitrovic. The way that they play football should benefit us, because I know we struggled against them a little bit at home, but at Craven Cottage, they're in mid-table. They're not just going to sit on the edge of the penalty area. Not with Marco Silva. They're going to try and press us. They're going to try and play, hopefully leave some space in the middle of the park. I know it's a very tight pitch. I just have 2-2 in my head, you know what I mean? Because we've drawn against them so many times over the years. It's unbelievable. But surely we're going to go there and get the win. And if we beat Arsenal tomorrow night, we beat Fulham, we go top of the table. So it's going to be a madness. Going to be crazy. Lads isn't on the Avengers show tonight. Hugh is. I am. Got a couple of other lads on there as well. So make sure you join us. Big Steve's coming on. Dax is on there as well. So make sure it's going to be a 9 p.m. kickoff tonight. Avengers show. Get onto it, man. Check out this. I want to give you a little bit of a teaser here as well. Check this out. That's all you're getting. That's all you're getting. We've got an intro. We've got an introduction, man, to the Avengers show. It is a madness. You do not want to miss it. It's going to be 6, kicking off at 9 p.m. tonight. Lads, thanks for jumping in, man. Appreciate that, bro.
No worries.
Enjoy the game. It's going to be crazy. Hugh's flying over tomorrow. But yeah, I'll speak to Hugh later on the Avengers show. I think we've gone through all the super chats. All the member chats are done. Everything's done. Guys, make sure you drop a like on the stream. Subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. And guys, we'll see you in the next one. Peace out, man.